In the journey through time, history serves as our roadmap, guiding us through the intricacies of human achievements, struggles, and transformation. But what happens when we decide to redraw this map, changing the landmarks and paths? You might think the past is in the past, and that we should move on and focus on the future. But it would be ignorant to think that history has no influence on our future. This act of reinterpreting or rewriting history carries significant risks that can not only distort our understanding of the past, but also offend entire cultures. Firstly, when history is reinterpreted to suit present-day agendas, it risks erasing the experiences and voices of those who lived through those times. For instance, consider a country that decides to glorify its colonial past, downplaying the suffering and exploitation of the colonized people. This not only misleads the younger generation about their own country's impact on others, but also deeply hurts the descendants of those who were colonized, as their painful history is glossed over, or worse, justified. Conversely, if the colonized peoples were to exaggerate their history without a factual basis, it could lead to other significant issues. Overstating the atrocities or consequences of colonial rule, for instance, could fuel resentment and hinder reconciliation efforts between former colonies and colonizers. It might also skew the historical narrative in such a way that it becomes difficult for the current generation to form accurate perceptions of their history. Exaggeration could perpetuate myths that are used to justify extreme viewpoints or policies, potentially leading to divisiveness and conflict within and between nations. Another example can be found in the ongoing debates about statues and monuments of historical figures who owned slaves or promoted discriminatory policies. Some argue that removing these statues is an attempt to erase history. Others feel that keeping them celebrates a painful and oppressive past. Whatever the right answer might be, it is clear that history should be approached with care and sensitivity from both sides. Reinterpreting history to suit nationalistic agendas can profoundly shape a society's view of itself and its neighbors. This trend is especially pronounced in educational systems where history curricula are tailored to foster a sense of national pride and superiority by emphasizing certain events and downplaying others. For example, a significant research study conducted by the Global Education Monitoring Report by UNESCO highlighted how curricula across various countries often reflect a biased interpretation of historical conflicts. The study revealed that in some countries, textbooks presented a very one-sided narrative of historical events like wars, where the country's own actions were portrayed in an overly positive light, often omitting less favorable aspects or wrongdoings. This selective recounting of history can have lasting impacts. By teaching students that their nation has always been righteous and just, these educational systems are essentially creating a skewed view of history. This prevents students from understanding the complexities and multifaceted nature of historical events, and it diminishes their ability to critically analyze their own country's actions and policies. Moreover, it can lead to misconceptions and biases against other countries or peoples who are often depicted as adversaries or in a negative light. Such biased historical education not only distorts the past, but also affects international relations and social harmony by embedding a simplistic and often confrontational worldview into the next generation's mindset. Cultural offenses happen when reinterpretations disrespect or trivialize the sacred traditions and values of a community. A stark example of this is when media or educational texts simplify complex cultural practices to mere stereotypes, ignoring the depth and significance these practices hold for the native people. Such misrepresentations can foster misunderstanding and prejudice, further dividing societies. The digital age has made the spread of misinformation incredibly easy. Incorrect or biased historical information can be disseminated widely, influencing millions. The future might hold even greater challenges as digital platforms become more pervasive in education, potentially spreading reinterpretations far and wide before they can be critically evaluated. In discussing these points, opinions are deeply divided. Some believe that revisiting history with new perspectives is crucial for progress and justice, while others view any alteration as a distortion of truth that could harm cultural integrity and social cohesion. Talking about history is far from black and white. It invites us to be cautious and considerate about how we handle the delicate threads of history. History, after all, belongs to everyone, and its interpretation impacts how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we shape our future society. By confronting the truth and only the truth, can we prevent the darkest parts of our history from repeating themselves.